here. We're going to be doing a continued reaction to Elements of Justice. Case 2, Episode 4, Trial. Since it's 2 hours long, this is going to be half. We're going to do only an hour long. Why the hell do these have to be 2 goddamn hours long? I really hate long videos. But I'll still add some clips to see where I can put them. Depends on the situation. Like I usually do. Well, that's what I did because I probably should have. There was some spots that we were really good at clips too. So, yeah, this will be my Halloween special. I'm going to be doing this weekend and whatnot. So, let's get. I know it's a little early, but let's just get to it anyway. A 3, a 2, and a 1. The thing that confuses me,
wishes to call Diamond Tiara
Silver Spoon, both human and pony forms, both wear glasses, but Twilight's human form wears glasses, but the pony version does not. Unless Pony Twilight had eye surgery or something, I don't know. Or contacts, that would actually make sense. She'd probably look better with glasses.
Well, that was a little unexpected. Oh, who am I kidding? That was completely unexpected.
Talking to yourself is normal.
It's about to burst.
Because
especially
you
nowadays.
screwed up.
Bridget!
Brutally honest.
Well, that isn't exactly wrong, though.
That's when you trick the little thing against the wall.
I did screw up. Absolutely. All because I didn't feel I had any other choice. Let's assume that Turning Page really did hit his father, and he fell to the ground. Now, at that point, who's to
I don't understand why they're doing the trial now. They still need to gather all the info before they do the stupid trial.
Then that would mean the one who showed up on the scene after they left would...
I think all trials are just kind of stupid. It's just gather all the intel before you finally accuse someone.
It's entirely possible that our witness, Miss Sakura, is Royal Order's true killer. I had no proof. I was just desperate. I couldn't face the possibility that Turning and Scootaloo would be found guilty. But by accusing Sakura, I risked putting her in danger. Someone who I had no reason to doubt. But that's not the worst thing I did.
And we get back to the court. Instead of recapping what we all know.
I hurt Twilight too. She tried to stop me, but I didn't listen. And because of that,
she's just staring at you while you're just being quiet, thinking to yourself, because that's kind of weird.
But that certainly wasn't because of anything I did.
In real life, people be like,
it was thanks to Twilight jumping in, and Prosecutor Luna trying to guide
why are you looking at me?
Through. Everyone else trying to fix my one massive mistake. Twilight,
Yeah.
Sorry, you first.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. How are you feeling?
I feel like I should be asking you that.
One thing about Generation 5, they show Twilight about that size, but we've seen the ending of Generation 4, where Twilight was like Celestia size.
It was worth
a
shot.
Are we missing a time skip, or what that? Or is this a parallel universe? What's going on?
After what I did, I don't know how you can even look at me right now.
It's true that you made a mistake, but...
It was more than a mistake. It was almost catastrophic.
This is why you should be doing the trial, Twilight, not her.
Sorry. Go on.
Build up some gosh darn self-confidence.
It's true that you made a mistake.
Well,
you recognized that you did, and apologized for it. And Sakura accepted your apology.
But that doesn't change why.
Yeah, because they're ponies. They're always usually super friendly.
It was beyond.
If it's humans, they'd be cussing you out like there's no tomorrow, or acting like total Karens.
Well, I suppose it was a little rash.
The worst.
I've actually seen some of those clips about Karens, where they try to tell off the judge, and Judge doesn't want anything to do with that, so they just kick them out.
Let's face it, Twilight. I'm a lousy defense attorney. And after what happened,
I mean, there are a billion other jobs, just saying.
I don't even deserve to be one.
Oh, Athena.
The swab with Twilight.
Well, that's not exactly true.
Boss?
Phoenix!
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you...
Did he just creep up on you?
I was, but I wanted to stop by and give my compliments. You two did a great job out there, Athena, all things considered.
All things, Boss, are you sure you were watching the right trial?
What are those voices?
Pretty sure I put on
The thing is, all the movies and TV shows I ever watched, I never watched the ending part where they tell you all the credits
Go
and
for a while,
like who did what.
but you kept the trial going.
That's why I'm
And
constantly
gave
thinking
audience
we're just
members
watching
a
parallel
chance.
universes.
I'd say that counts for something.
Or not parallel, but
What I did.
alternate universes.
You,
Or other, whatever.
you must be so ashamed of me.
Not at all, Athena. After all, I did the exact same thing last time I was in Equestria.
Oh yeah, RD's trial.
Did?
Yes.
But why?
Not enough intel. Oh come on, not another
Being summoned
recap.
to a new world in order to defend someone accused of murder? Just the idea alone is enough to throw anyone off their game.
That's why Twilight should be doing this.
I approached that trial like I would any other back in the day. And that naivete cost me greatly. I was completely unprepared. Maybe more than I'd ever been. I was no match for the prosecution's case against Rainbow. It all came to a head when the prosecution summoned a key eyewitness that could place
Am
Rainbow.
I the only
at
one
worst.
who thinks we should just
Seemed
skip
like an airtight
directly to the
conclusive
trial?
testimony at first, but the cross-examination revealed
This
that it
is probably why
contained
it's so
several
long.
contradictions. Contradictions that suggested the witness herself could be the true culprit of the murder. That witness was Fluttershy.
Wait, what? Fluttershy?
Yup.
No, that can't be true. There's no way you would have done that. I mean, I know I only just met her, but she's Fluttershy. She's too yellow and shy.
Piss
and-
yellow.
It did happen, Athena.
I was desperate. The judge was about to hand down the guilty verdict, and I needed a way to stop it from happening. So, even though I was aware of the severity of the accusation, I indicted Fluttershy on the charge of murder.
Boss, you didn't really think that...
She was guilty? No, not in the slightest. But what I did made Twilight lose almost all of her faith in me. Sure, I managed to prolong the trial for at least another day, but the cost was far higher than
So you guys are basically repeating yourselves in trials.
Is that why you tried to stop me, Twilight?
Yes. As you know, I was Phoenix's co-counsel during that trial.
When you should have been doing this the whole goddamn time.
At the time, I thought he was really trying to accuse Fluttershy. It wasn't until later that I learned he was trying to find another way to save Rainbow. I just wish it didn't have to be that way.
But that doesn't matter, right? Because in the end, you won.
True, but what I did could have made us lose sight of something even more
I
important.
seriously
than Twilight's
don't
outcome.
care.
Something even more important?
The truth.
The truth? What does he mean by that? Isn't that the same thing as fighting for someone's innocence?
Excuse me, sir. I'm going to have to ask you to please return to your seat in the
Oh,
gallery.
we can't even see the
Attorney and your
preview.
counsel need time to prepare their case before the trial resumes.
I'd better get going then. Wouldn't want the bailiff to yell at me. Good luck, you two.
Having a pony yell at you is probably the cutest thing ever.
Thanks, boss.
I'd probably pat him on the head like, oh, you're so cute.
Yeah, Twilight?
I know you regret accusing Sakura, and I am thankful that you apologized to her. However, what happened during the trial, it just reopened some old wounds.
I'm really sorry, Twilight.
Even so, I can't dwell on what's already past. I said last night that I would stand with you in court, and that's exactly what I intend to do. If we want to
Most,
save turning point in
like
Scootaloo,
school trial,
we should
well,
focus on
not
the
really
rest of
much
the
trials, but
after that,
in school I'd always get blamed for stuff I never did, and
Right.
that's why I've been holding grudges
Besides,
and
I
have a
think
great
it's
hatred
about
for
time we
school.
asked those two some questions.
They were never
Huh?
fair.
Oh, Scootaloo!
It's
Turning
the
page!
lovers.
Hey. Hello, Princess Twilight. Miss Sykes.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine. It's just...
Shouldn't they have like chains on them? Because that's technically what
Are
happens to
you here?
accused.
If you think you're up to it, we'd like to ask you more about the case. There are still a lot of blank spots to fill in after all.
Sure. I'll do everything I can to help.
Until you
Ask us
freak
anything.
out.
Well, first I'd like to ask you to clarify something for us, Turning Page.
Yes?
Apple Bloom mentioned yesterday that after you all went for lunch on the day of the incident, your mother found you and hurried you away.
That's right, yes?
He's
Can
gonna
you tell
hold
us
something
why?
back.
You've probably already figured it out, but it was because of what I did. And like always, it seems.
It seems.
It has something to do with Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, doesn't it?
Diamond Tiara, to be specific.
Yeah, back then she was a total little
When I
brat.
attacked her earlier that day, her dress got dirty. She told her mom about what happened. And then they went to see my mom.
Right. This is all stuff we heard in the trial earlier.
After Mom heard about what happened, she went to go find me. She was really mad and wanted me to apologize to Diamond Tiara and her mother.
Alright.
I don't see why I should have to.
I know that
I
feel. I
regret
got
what I
bullied
did.
a lot as a
Not
kid.
one bit. A true member of the Royal Guard should never have to apologize for doing the right thing.
Sorry, Turning.
In that
What about the
situation,
money, though? It wasn't just an apology Spoiled Rich wanted.
Yeah, I know.
you could have just asked
That whole
Rarity
discussion
to make you a
happened
new one.
After Mom brought me back home. Diamond and her mother came over so I could
You just
formally
owed her.
apologize. And that's when Mrs. Rich demanded my mom to pay her back for the dresses. Before
It's
I
not
could
like the
even try
dresses were
anything,
permanently
my
damaged.
mom sent me away. She forced me to stay in my room the whole time they were talking. I overheard everything, though. I couldn't believe Mom agreed to pay back the bits. We
Same
don't
here.
have that kind of money. If only she would have let me at that mare, I would have.
Sorry, did
Yeah.
you say Mrs. Rich and Diamond Tiara came over to your house?
Yeah? Why?
Could this... Wait, no.
Yeah, I guarantee Diamond Tiara snuck in
If you
and
thought
put in
so.
that
Well,
paper.
I guess... You
Or
think maybe Diamond
magazine.
Tiara
Yeah.
could have planted the magazines at that point?
It does line up very nicely with our theory. I assume you didn't see anything, Turning Page?
Yeah. I was in my room the whole time after apologizing.
I'm used to
I
being
don't
grounded in
know
my
what
room all
happened
my
in the house
childhood.
after that. Aside from the
Not have the best
conversation
father.
between my mom and Mrs. Rich.
Well, without Turning Page's testimony, it's unfortunately not conclusive. I doubt Fair Devotion saw anything, so at this point it's still only a theory.
Yeah, most of the things I
That
did go
clears up
trouble
that
is just
mystery
because I had
for
an
now.
uncontrollable anger problem. But
Nail for another one. Turning, Scootaloo. Can I
complicated.
ask you two something else?
What is it, Miss Sykes?
What actually happened that night in the forest, when you arrived at the blackmail site?
Sure. We can tell you about that. Right, Turning?
Yeah.
So what
Were you
happened?
Kind of
smooching?
figured this out yesterday, but there was a fight there. Between Turning Page and me, and Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon.
I wish we
Go
all
over
could
it
have seen
for us.
that.
Any details you can remember will help, even if they're small or might not seem important.
You could be like a
Well,
what do you call it?
we got there at exactly 10, but it looks like we were the only ones to arrive. Here we are.
I can't remember.
This is the meeting place.
Final Fantasy.
Are you
There.
ready, Scootaloo?
Yeah.
I've only played that game
We just have
once.
to make sure we get what we came here for. Can you pass me the roll of golden silk?
Are you sure? I can keep holding it with my magic.
I know, but now that we're here, I feel like it's my responsibility.
Alright.
How
Thanks, Turning. Now,
is it
where
your
are
responsibility?
they? Turning, get back! If they see your face, they'll freak.
Well, well, well!
I thought he was supposed to be
You
there.
have brains in those heads of yours after all.
I would have just hit her with that roll.
Two of you, at least. Which one of you was too scared to come? Let me guess.
That's not technically Silver Spoon's personality. She's usually a little bit
It's
friendlier.
Scootaloo. I'm here by myself with, an escort. Now give me our stuff back!
Scootaloo? How hilarious! You were the only one who didn't chicken out. You see,
I could say,
it's funny
but
because she-
Miss
the fan would
Scootaloo
probably
told
get
you
more
to knock it
pissed with me.
off. Now hand over everything you stole, villains.
Hmm? Wait, what? You, 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 him with you? Huh.
What?
him?
Oh, because he attacked him.
Matter. Let's just get this over with.
Do you have it then?
Yes, you can have your stupid golden silk, alright? Now give us our stuff back like you promised.
I don't know. It seems like you didn't fully honor our deal.
Eh?
What? What are you talking about?
DT? You read the letter, didn't you? Then you would have known we expected all three of you to come, not just one of you.
What?
Not only that, you decided to bring some pony else along. That wasn't allowed.
Oh, the
according
Cutie
to
Mark
our
Crusaders.
demands.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that right, Silver Spoon?
Oh, yes, exactly. Of course.
Actually,
Why are you
Diamond
two
Tiara,
total brats?
your letter didn't say anything about that.
You brought that with you?
Uh-huh. I thought you might try to pull something like this. All your letter says is to come here without any adults. It doesn't say it has to be all three of us, or that we can't bring any pony else along. Ugh. I brought you what you wanted. That
Also,
should
why
be...
is that castle still abandoned? Like, we can rebuild it.
I don't think you understand how this works. I don't care what the letter says. I'm the one in charge here, and you'll do as I say.
It's kind of too late
As
now.
far as I'm concerned, you broke the rules.
Ugh.
Tell you what, though, if you go on back and get us another roll, maybe we'll think about giving you your stuff back.
They said that's
You
super
stay here,
expensive.
don't you
We're
worry.
gonna kill her.
DT, we
Not
don't
literally,
really need
but still.
two, though, do we? And it's getting darker already.
First you blackmail the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and then you won't even hold up your end of the deal. You have no sense of honor. You'll pay for this.
Ah! Finally hit her. Good.
I swung my sword at Diamond Tiara, and she fell onto Silver Spoon. She dropped the fabric and knocked Silver's glasses off at the same time.
At that point, Turning Page told me to take the scooter, fabric, everything,
And they wouldn't
flee
let
the
you
scene
say
with
any of
them.
this on?
I quickly scrambled
trial?
to gather everything up. But because I was in a hurry, I forgot to pick up the blackmail letter. I dropped it when Diamond Tiara grabbed the fabric from me. Once I had everything else, though, I was ready to leave. I wanted to stick around and make sure he would make it out alright, but he insisted he'd be fine. So, eventually, I did.
It was a good thing, too, because by then, the two fillies had recovered. Diamond Tiara was furious, but because of that, she didn't watch where she was going. Right as she attempted to follow Scootaloo, she stomped on Silver's glasses, breaking them.
That had to hurt her
But they
hook.
were still coming. I could have
The
hit them
glasses
again,
shoved right in
but
your mouth.
had an even better idea. Using my magic, I grabbed Diamond Tiara's little tiara and chucked it into the gorge. That did the job. Diamond Tiara screamed and dragged Silver Spoon down the stairs after it. And that was when I left.
And that's it. That's everything that we know about what happened at the castle that night.
I don't even know where to begin with all that.
What I'd like to know is why you kept this from us. I know
Yeah,
you
smart
didn't have
thing
time
for a
yesterday,
kid to do.
but what about this morning? This
Or
would
their
have been
valuable
helpful
thing
to
down
know
somewhere.
before the trial.
Or even earlier in court, in fact, when we tried to establish exactly when and how you two left the scene.
There's a reason for that, actually.
What's the reason then?
Well, it was because of Princess Luna. She told us to keep quiet about it. How we both left the scene, I mean.
That's crucial information.
Wait, so you mean when you spoke with her earlier this morning, she told you not to mention that, even to us?
Not
Yeah, Luna's
exactly.
being kind of stupid.
Princess Luna said
No
we should
one
tell
treats
you
her like a
before the
princess,
trial
to be
began.
honest.
But we shouldn't say anything in court. At least, not until something could prove the scooter had left the scene at one point. Otherwise, it would have looked like a lie. Since the scooter was found at the scene, we did want to tell you about everything this morning. But as soon as we got to this lobby, well, you know what happened.
Yeah, they were
Luna was trying to
gonna
help
let
us
you
before the
speak
trial
honestly
even
because they don't
started.
believe you.
That was rather smart of her.
No,
It's
it
almost
wasn't.
eerie how she knew. It makes me wonder what'll happen when we step back inside the courtroom, if there's anything else Luna has anticipated.
I'm not sure how to feel knowing that. If she knew from the very beginning what direction we needed to take, what else does she know? Out of curiosity, Scootaloo, how far did you get on your scooter? And how did it end up back at the crime scene?
Well, I can't really say. I was so scared being in the forest that I couldn't keep track of how far I got.
Well then, how fast can you go on your scooter? Maybe we can estimate the
dirt,
distance
not
based
very
on
well.
that.
If I'm on my scooter,
I tried scooters and
I'd say I can
they're
usually shave
useless.
off about a third of how long it'd usually take on hoof. But that's about as accurate as I can get. Sorry.
That's alright. When would you say you left the blackmail site itself?
I don't really know. Maybe about 5 minutes after we got there?
So at around 10:05 then. It normally takes 15 minutes to walk from the castle to Zikora's hut, so it would have taken Scootaloo about 10. She'd pass by at around 10:15, which means Zikora wouldn't have seen her go by.
Turning page, when did you leave the scene?
Then who was that
About a
little
minute
pony
after
she
Miss
saw?
Scootaloo.
And you went the same way she did, right?
Right?
Does that mean you were the shadowy figure that Zikora saw?
Yes. That was me.
Did you see
okay.
Scootaloo or anything else out of the ordinary while leaving? Maybe someone carrying the scooter back to the scene?
I'm afraid not, Miss Sykes.
Really?
Well, darn.
Then
It's gonna be
how
a while
did
before
the
we figure
scooter
out what
get
happened
back
to
to
the
the
father.
crime scene?
Defendants, attorney, the trial's about to resume. Head back inside on the double.
Looks like we'll have to figure that out later.
Scootaloo? Turning page. You two head on in first, okay?
Okay, Twilight. Come on, Turning.
Well, I guess we'd better go in too. You ready, Athena?
About as ready as I can be, I suppose. Let's go, Twilight.
Pardon me for
I like that
interrupting,
song, but
Princess
I've never
Twilight.
seen the Tangled
Miss
series.
Sykes.
Private Eye? What's
Nice
he
top
doing
10.
here?
Sir, might the defense have a moment longer before they enter the courtroom? It's urgent.
I don't get paid extra to babysit toddy lawyers, you know? But fine. A few minutes, maximum.
Splendid. Thank you, sir.
What do you mean by urgent,
Top
Private
10
Eye?
morning, do you go?
I have some things here you would do well to look through. First, are you aware of the clearing in the forest between the crossroads and Zikora's hut?
Nope,
I
because in
see
the
it,
show
yeah.
we never got to
Right
see it.
here? What about it?
An investigation was recently performed there, and traces of a wiped bloodstain were found. You can see it right here in this photograph.
And do you
Alright.
know who the blood belongs to?
Probably the
I do.
Plaza.
The blood has been identified as belonging to the victim. Royal Order.
So when they died, they put him on a scooter and wheeled him all
tests
the way
confirm it, Miss
to that one
Sykes.
spot.
The blood is, without question, that of the victims.
I can't believe it.
Oh, this changes so much! Thank you, Private Eye!
Then who moved the body?
You needn't thank me, Miss Sykes. I am simply the messenger.
You mean some pony else was responsible for this investigation?
Indeed, Princess. A mutual acquaintance of ours, you might say.
A mutual acquaintance? So, did
Oh, it's
this
probably the
mutual acquaintance find anything else?
Two things, as a matter of fact. This was found near the crossroads. Take a look.
And
This
does that?
is...
The broken handlebar
Ah,
from
okay.
Scootaloo's scooter!
You say this was found near the crossroads?
That is correct. Specifically, it was found concealed within the underbrush. It seems my team missed it during our investigation of the woods.
Yeah, that would have been freaking helpful earlier.
If the handlebar was found at the crossroads, then I guess that answers the question of how far Scootaloo made it on her scooter.
And it broke off somehow after she got there?
But how would it have broken?
What's the
Yeah,
second thing you
it's
have
made
for
of
us,
metal.
Private Eye?
This, Princess,
A piece of wood? What's so special about that?
Yeah, what is it?
Is that what I think it is?
What?
Indeed, Princess. It's a Timberwolf fang.
What?
This was found in front of the Nightmare Knight statue. We didn't think anything of it at first, but our mutual acquaintance realized it possessed the same enchantment found in Timberwolves. As to why it was at the statue, or if it's related to the current incident, I can't say for
perhaps
certain.
a Timberwolf got him? And he used a scooter to whack it. Whack the
Wow,
wolf.
what a haul! I sure hope I can meet this pony so I can thank them for all of this. Now we just have to make it count. Thank you for delivering all of this to us, Private Eye. We appreciate it.
You are very welcome, Miss Sykes. I wish you both the best.
Oh, before you go, Private Eye, can you do something for me?
Certainly, Your Highness.
Could you contact this mutual acquaintance for us? I'm not sure if it'll lead to anything, but I'd like for the crossroads to be tested forensically.
I'll get to work immediately, Princess.
Alright.
Thank you, Private Eye.
Are you about done over there?
Investigation should be
Tick-tock,
done
you two.
first
Yes,
thoroughly
sorry.
before
We'll
the
be right
goddamn
there.
trial.
Come on, Twilight. We'd better hurry.
Right.
Sorry, everyone's in too much of a hurry to get the goddamn trial just to blame someone. Well, that's why so many innocent people are going to jail or prison or whatever. That happens a lot.
Court is back in session. Prosecutor Luna, were you able to obtain results on the glass shards that the defense submitted?
Yes, Your Honor. Careful reconstruction of the shards revealed that they matched Miss Silverspoon's prescription, as the defense postulated. We were also able to confirm that the young filly received a brand new pair of glasses yesterday afternoon.
That was fast.
This makes it nigh impossible for the shards to belong to
For
any
me, it took
pony
me a
but
few
her.
weeks before I got my new glasses.
Think more children could be involved in this horrific murder. The court acknowledges this report as evidence.
Like I said, it's probably not a murder. Well, evidence together, it's probably he got bitten by a wolf.
Is Miss Silverspoon ready to take the stand?
Yes, she is. Along with Diamond Tiara.
How many
Then
lies are
please
these
bring
little
them in.
buggers gonna tell?
Finally! We've got them on the stand. This is where the real battle begins.
And they will lie like crazy.
Witnesses, please state your names for the record.
OMC, it's her, DT! Look, you see?
They'll leave it be.
Quiet, Silver! You're embarrassing me for Princess Luna!
Can you state your names, please?
What? Don't you know who I am?
To
No.
some extent, yes.
Kinda new here,
Though
so.
none of it is particularly good.
Well, if you know who I am, then why should I have to be the one to tell every pony else?
You hang out with your mom way too much.
We're not some run-of-the-mill country bumpkins.
And you hang out
We're
with
the
her
elite
too much.
of the elite.
Really making a great first impression, aren't you?
Hey! Oh man!
Yes, young filly?
You
Why
know
is
who
he
we
allowed to
are,
talk like
don't
this?
you?
I can't say I do, I'm afraid.
That's impossible!
We're only two of the richest, most well-known, most esteemed ponies you could ever have the pleasure of meeting.
Children! Your social status is completely irrelevant. In the eyes of the law, you are not richer, more well-known, or better than others. All are equal before this court. You will state your names and occupations, just like every pony else who takes the
Judge
stand.
should be the one saying that.
What a way to put these brats in their place, huh?
Yes, Your Highness. I'm Diamond Tiara, daughter of Filthy Rich, owner of Rich's
Glad in the
Barnyard
show,
Bargains.
her attitude got a lot better.
I'm Silverspoon. Her friend. Her best friend, by the way.
Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Silverspoon, may I ask you about your glasses?
What about them?
You just got that pair yesterday, correct?
Yeah? So? My other pair didn't fit me anymore, so I...
Don't even bother. Your other pair broke 2 nights ago. We found its shards near the castle of the 2 sisters.
Yeah.
What's more, we have witness testimony that can prove when they were broken as well. So tell us, how did your glasses break?
Don't lie.
Well, well, Golden Pixie. It seems that recess did you some good. You aren't the quivering mess from before.
Yeah, well, it was your fault, Luna, for not letting them get more intel.
Is that?
Hey!
Witness, you may not have heard this from the previous session, but there will be no disparagement in my court. Do not insult the defense, or I will hold you in contempt, regardless of your age.
Does that mean you throw him in
Thanks,
jail?
Honor. But really,
Yeah, I'm a little confused about
we're
that.
still sticking with Golden Pixie.
Now then, Miss Silver Spoon. It is time both you and Miss Diamond Tiara testify as to how they broke in the first place.
I have to explain?
That is what testifying usually amounts to, yes.
Well,
Your Honor, we'd be glad to explain ourselves.
You're gonna lie.
we would?
Just follow my lead, Sylvie.
Yeah. We sure would.
Very well. Now then, please begin
I
your testimony.
figured they were gonna lie. Oh, it's kind of fucking obvious with these two.
Silver Spoon and I were going to head
Most
to the
trials
castle
do
ruins
not
for a
last this
school
long.
assignment. We entered the forest around 9:45. Right before we got to the ruins, we saw one of those
Well,
blank
except for
ones
the
and that colt running
OJ
away.
one. That goes on forever.
We only figured out why once we got there. There was a dead statue lying on the ground. I was so startled that I tripped and stepped on my glasses.
You're a liar.
So you got there only after everything had played out?
If you consider the time they entered the forest, they would most likely have arrived at the scene around 10:20. The blackmail negotiation took place at 10. Clearly, they could not have been involved.
I'm sure that little impossibility will disappear once I find a flaw in these 2 fillies' words. That said, this is a bit of a problem. I have to deal with 2 witnesses testifying at the same time. How am I supposed to do that?
Is that even legal?
You alright, Athena? You look a little rattled.
Kinda. This is my first time dealing with 2 witnesses at once, and they seem to back each other up pretty well.
I wouldn't exactly say that.
Huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
it may
that
seem that they're
unblinking
able to form a
crowd
wall to
behind
stop
you.
us, but one of them could just as easily be its weak link. We have good reason to believe they're lying, and lies always beget more
Well,
lies.
yeah, they are gonna
See
lie.
through one.
And the whole story falls apart. So all I have to do is find
Yeah,
a
it's really hard to
contradiction in
keep
one
a
of their
lie, yeah.
statements, and then their whole combined testimony will crumble?
Exactly. It should just be like any other testimony. Although, I suggest that you pay attention to how they respond to each other when you're questioning them. It could prove beneficial.
I'll make sure to do just that.
Itch. Alrighty then. See how they're gonna break through their
Silver
lies.
Spoon and I were going to head to the castle ruins for a school assignment.
Hold it! You went to the ruins for a school assignment?
Specifically, a history assignment. We figured researching the castle of the 2 sisters would be perfect for it.
You didn't think going there at night was dangerous? Entering the Everfree Forest at all was risky enough, let alone going as far as the ruins.
Well, we just figured that, the thrill of learning in a dangerous place would lead us to the answers we need.
It's all about immersion. What better way to learn than by absorbing history straight from the source?
The number of problems in that explanation is so high that I could only call it offensive. These 2 clearly have no respect for the value of education.
Well, that's beside the
I
point.
never give a crap.
We already know they're lying through their teeth. Pressing this further will get us nowhere.
Most education
Continue
is
with your
not crap.
testimony, please.
We entered the forest around 9:45.
Hold it! You went to the forest by yourselves? Why didn't you bring any adults with you?
Ha! As if they would come even if we asked! My parents are always working at the Ponyville Hospital. Won't even
I was
take
always
a
wondering what your
single day
parents
off
did.
to spend time
I
with their
thought all they
daughter.
did was work on spoons.
Give me that look! My father's always attending business meetings or managing his company. I see just as little as you see your parents.
You have your mother, though. She could spend all the time in the world with you.
Yeah, all she likes to do is go into spas.
If only.
Children, now is not the time to talk about your family matters.
I can at least empathize with their parents not spending that much time with them. They're lucky they have each other, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't spend
Right
much time
before
with
we
my
got to the
family either.
ruins, we saw one of those
why
blank
video
blanks
games
and that
became my only
colt
friends.
running away.
As a kid.
That doesn't make any sense. Scootaloo and Turning Page didn't mention seeing you on the path.
And what's stopping them from simply lying about that? You're going to have to provide us with something more definitive if you want to discredit this testimony.
Right, Diamond and Silver, could you please tell us where you were when you encountered them?
Sure. We saw them right around here.
So, right before you crossed the bridge then? Can you confirm this as well, Silver?
Yeah, that's the spot.
Wait a minute. Did you two run into anyone else before that point?
Nope. No pony at all.
Liars.
No, we didn't.
Your Honor, I'd like to have that statement added to their testimony.
Very well. Witnesses, please continue with your new statement.
Shoot.
We didn't encounter any pony else before crossing the bridge.
Objection! Diamond Tiara, there's something blatantly wrong with that statement.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
You said you saw no pony else before crossing the bridge, but that is impossible.
What? Why?
Because there was someone else you should have seen that night. The one pony, or should I say zebra, living in the forest, Zecora! If the court remembers from her testimony, Zecora remained standing on the forest path after she saw Turning Page and Scootaloo walk by. If Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon entered the forest afterwards, then it would have been impossible for them to not have seen Zecora.
Then how did they meet up with them later?
Objection!
Did they sneak around?
The forest was dark at the time. It is possible they may have overlooked her.
Objection!
How do you...
Zecora was paying close attention to the path to see if any pony followed Scootaloo and Turning Page. By her account, no one did, and I find it hard to believe that both parties managed to miss seeing each other.
How so? Zecora went back home after a period of time, did she not? It's possible that the two fillies could have passed by at that point.
Not according to their testimony. Diamond herself claimed that she and Silver entered the forest at 9:45.
Luna
That means
already
they would have
knows
walked
all
by
this stuff,
Zecora
so,
roughly
because
20
they
minutes
told her,
afterward. However,
I think.
according to Zecora, she was standing watch on the path until 10:10. Knowing that, it'd be impossible for them to miss each other.
Then what are we to make of this?
There's only one possibility. Diamond and Silver must have passed by Zecora's hut before she was standing watch. In other words, they must have entered the forest before Scootaloo and Turning did.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Well, witnesses, what do you have to say in your defense?
The funny thing is, well, you see...
Someone's gonna break.
Yes, it's true.
Yep. I knew she was.
We're already at the ruins before those two showed up. We actually entered the forest around 9:15.
Kiss with you.
Sir!
Yep.
Aha! I was right!
But why would you lie about something like that?
Because they're little brats.
I suspect that they wish to distance themselves time-wise from when they were present at the crime scene. After all, now that we know when they actually entered the forest, we have a good reason to suspect they took part in what occurred there prior to the murder.
You mean the blackmail?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's take a look at that blackmail letter one more time. The letter states that the negotiations were to take place at 10. Now, knowing that they entered the forest around 9:15, we can calculate that they would have arrived at the castle ruins around 9:50. In other words, 10 minutes before the negotiations started.
Diamond and Silver didn't want to be tied to the blackmailing, so they lied about when they entered to make it sound like they'd arrived too late to be involved.
Hey, human!
How do you know what a human
yes?
is?
I just want to say that everything that you're saying about me being part of a blackmailing is a load of horse apples!
I'm pretty sure that was mostly Twilight. But whatever.
Yeah, us? Involved in blackmailing? Please.
Oh, then why did you lie to us about the time?
Because saying when we actually got to that castle would connect us to that murder.
That we had nothing to do with, by the way.
Would you care to clarify for us, witness?
How can you even trust them even lying?
We were witnesses to the murder itself. That's why we didn't want anybody to know we were there. Right, Sylvie?
Yeah, right.
What? You've got to be kidding me!
Witnesses! Lying in your testimony is to commit perjury, a crime irrespective of your monetary or social status.
Who cares?
Since you are young, I will grant some degree of leniency, but only just this once. I expect you to testify truthfully as to what you saw on the night of the murder from this point onwards.
Of course, Your Honor.
They have no fear of trouble.
Like we said before, we went to the castle ruins for a school assignment.
We suddenly heard a loud noise, and we immediately looked across the gorge to see what happened. There was a stallion lying down on the ground, and those two were standing over him.
Afterwards, they ran away, and that
It's hard
was
to know
when
if they
Diamond
know
and I
the
went to
truth
the
because
scene.
they're just... they're just little liars.
Before we start the
Can't trust
cross-examination, I'd like to ask the two of you some questions.
Yes, Princess.
When you arrived at the scene, was there any pony else present?
No, I'm pretty sure there wasn't.
In that case, would you say that Turning Page and Scootaloo were the ones who killed the victim?
Well, all we saw was them standing next to the body.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
they're telling
all.
the truth about this.
I see. Now then, Golden Pixie, please
Just call
begin
her
the
science.
cross-examination.
Why I'm so
Okay.
itchy.
Why did Luna ask them those questions? Is she trying to guide me somewhere again? Never mind that. Focus!
Alright. Back to the trial. Alright.
Like we said before, we went to the castle
Just
ruins
notice
for a
all the
school
ponies are
assignment.
standing. Should they all
We
be
suddenly
sitting?
heard a loud noise, and we immediately looked
The
across
ones
the
in the back.
gorge to see what happened.
Hold it! When and where did you hear this loud noise?
Well, we can't really say when we
My
heard
theory
it,
is the father
but it
used
was
the
definitely
scooter
some sort of
to hit
clang.
the
We heard it from
Timberwolf and it
inside the
broke.
castle entrance.
A clang?
It broke with a fence on.
Sakura testified that she heard a clang as well at around 10:15. Do you think that's when you might have heard it?
Yeah, that's probably when we heard the clang. Huh?
What was that response from Silver Spoon? Why
They
did
must
she
have
sound
left
so
before they heard
surprised?
it.
You're not the only one who noticed that, Athena. I heard it too. This could be the weak link in their testimony.
Really?
Yeah,
Whatever
question
Diamond said
Silver
made
Spoon.
Silver react. Perhaps
the one
she has
that
a
would
different
probably be
opinion
more
about that
honest.
statement. I think it'd be a good idea to press this even further.
I'll give it a shot. Hang on! Silver Spoon? I couldn't help but notice that you seemed to be deep in thought. Did it have anything to do with what Diamond said?
Yeah, it did. You see, I didn't hear just one clang. I'm pretty sure I heard two.
Two?
He's not happy.
Sylvie? What are you talking about? We heard only one clang that night.
But I'm sure there were two.
Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, do you have any idea why you heard a different number of clangs?
Look, we're just confused. But can you blame us? We just witnessed a murder in front of our eyes.
You don't
That's
act
not
like
what you were testifying. You said you only saw what happened after the murder. Are you now saying that you saw the murder itself?
Well...
Stop hitting
Answer
the
the
table.
question.
Yes! We did! We saw the whole thing!
Can you confirm this as well, Silver Spoon?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like a statement about what they saw to be added to the testimony.
So is
Agreed.
someone gonna write this down?
Witnesses?
Yeah, we know what to do, old man.
Now what are they gonna say?
Probably a lie, like they
We
always
saw
do.
those two knock the stallion to the ground and immediately stab him afterwards.
Objection! Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, you have
Oh, I
once again
skipped all the
lied to
advertisements.
this court.
Goddamn.
Hey! What gives?
Because what you just said is impossible.
What?
Care to explain, Miss Sykes?
Of course, Your Honor. Earlier in this trial, we proved that the victim couldn't have been stabbed immediately after being knocked over. The side he was laying on contradicts the abdominal bruise noted in the autopsy report. He must have stood up after being knocked to the ground. However, Diamond Tiara just claimed the opposite. She and Silver Spoon saw Turning and Scootaloo stab the victim right after knocking him over.
Ah!
How
Alright.
interesting, Golden Pixie. But where exactly are you going with this?
Where you've been directing us this whole time. Now I get why you were so focused on this point earlier in the trial. It was all for this trap, wasn't it? If Diamond Tiara and
Ooh,
Silver
let's see
Spoon
what's gonna
did
happen.
see the murder happen, they would have known this. But the very fact that they made this mistake proves that they did not see the murder at all.
Witnesses! You better have a good explanation for this!
They're liars, that's what.
Well, we...
Perhaps I could be of assistance here.
What do you mean, Prosecutor Luna?
What is she planning this time?
Something.
Your Honor, I request that these two testify one last time
Testify? About what?
about what happened when they approached the victim's body.
I see. Defense, your thoughts?
We've reached the heart of this whole trial. Diamond and Silver are the key to finding out what happened at the castle that night.
Once we hear this testimony, I have a feeling this trial will take a rather dramatic turn.
Twilight?
Alright.
Just focus on the testimony for now, Athena.
All right. The
Sorry, I don't
defense
even want
agrees, Your
much into
Honor.
these court things, but
Let's
I've
hear what
never
they
been
have
a
to
fan of
say.
courts.
Very well. Witnesses,
They're the
please
boringest places
testify
in the
about
world.
what happened when you approached the body.
Still interesting to see what's gonna happen.
Silver and I were deep in the castle ruins, so we didn't know what was going on outside. After we were done exploring, we left the castle, and then we came across a dead body at the gorge. No pony was around. All we saw was the body. Sylvie was so shocked, she fell backward and broke her glasses. We wanted to run away immediately, but then we saw the zebra in the distance. We had to hide so we wouldn't be seen.
I'm still leaning with Scootaloo and the others. The other
You
guys
said in your previous
were-
testimonies that you saw Scootaloo and Turning Page at the scene, but now you claim you didn't see any pony? Why's that? The silent treatment, huh? That's all right. I'm pretty sure I know why.
Care to fill us in, Golden Pixie?
Color
They
Sykes.
knew that Scootaloo and
Brody
Turning would
horse.
be at the scene. By matching their testimony to that fact, they wanted to make their testimonies more credible.
Is this true, witnesses?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Still denying it, are you?
I have a question I'd like to ask
This
myself,
is probably why
witness.
trials last a
You
long
said that you
time.
hid from Zecora when she arrived.
Because no one's ever on.
Where exactly?
There are some stairs going down to the gorge. We figured that was the best place to hide. We had to peek out every once in a while to see if she was gone. Once she was, we quietly followed and left the forest.
The staircase? Didn't Turning say that's where they went when he threw Diamond's crown? I wonder.
Now then, Miss Sykes, you may begin your cross-examination.
Alright. Well, at least she got her crown back.
Silver and I were deep in the castle
But he was
ruins,
damaged.
so we didn't know what was going on outside.
I want to talk about that clang you two heard. You said you heard one, but Silver claims she heard two. Any idea why you didn't hear the same thing? Or what it could have been?
Probably something inside the castle. One of the noises must have come from deeper within and only Sylvie caught it.
The castle contains armor from an older time. It's possible one of the suits fell over, eliciting the sound.
Yet, Zecora heard a similar sound at around the same time.
It could just be a coincidence. Maybe the noises we heard happened at the same time, but came from different places.
Another discussion that will clearly bear no fruit. I do hope you'll spare us the displeasure, Golden Pixie.
Yeah. Unless I have definitive proof of what this noise was, this will get us nowhere. I suppose I should just move
The noise
on.
was probably the
Please
like I said, the
continue with
scooter.
your testimony.
After we were done exploring, we left the castle, and then we came across a dead body at the gorge.
And the two of you actually approached the body?
Well, it was right there, at the foot of the bridge. It's not like there's any way we could avoid it. Admittedly,
Yeah.
we didn't know he was dead at first. We thought he just passed out or something. But when we saw that hole in his head, there was no question. He was dead. Ugh, I still feel sick just thinking about it.
That...
Yeah, they said the body was
Something
somewhere
seems
else.
off about that. But what? If you really examined the body, could you describe the scene for me in as much detail as possible?
Ugh,
If they will.
fine. There was that dead body with a hole in his head. The blank scooter and wagon were also there. The wagon had a roll of gold and silk in it, along with those dumb capes. And that's it, I think.
That's it?
Yes, that's it. What else do you want?
And the only thing that clued you into the victim's death was the hole in his head?
Oh my gosh, yes! What else do you expect? You'd think the same thing if you saw it.
That's it. In that case, could you please add that statement to your testimony?
Sure, if it makes you shut up.
Brat.
I only realized this guy
You're
was
the reason
dead
why
because
no
of
one
the
wants to
hole
have
in his
kids.
head.
Objection! There's something seriously wrong with that statement.
What? I'm actually telling the truth! You asked me about what I saw, and that's what
Are
I
you telling the
saw!
truth?
Miss Sykes, could you clarify the issue for us?
Your Honor, I believe Diamond Tiara is correct in what she's claiming. Everything she said about her discovery of the body is the truth. However, if she did examine the crime scene as thoroughly as she claims, then she should have seen something else at the scene.
Something else?
Oh yeah, the red thing that was
Enough games,
by his
defense.
head.
Get to the point.
Tell me something, Diamond. You really had no idea the victim was dead until you saw the hole in his head?
Obviously!
There should have been
What else
blood.
could I have known?
Well, I think the bloodstain under his head would have given it away.
Wait, a blood stain? Under his head? What are you talking about?
Look at this photograph. It certainly looks like a bloodstain.
Yeesh.
Even Zecora testified to its existence, and how it was her first indication that the victim may have been dead.
Why
Yet
does
you
the
claim
stallion
that you
look
had
like
no
a
idea
kid?
until you saw the victim's wound.
She looked
Why's
a bit
that?
older.
Oh, give me a break! That's not a blood stain, you idiots! That's just one of the dumb Crusader's capes. Obviously, I would have thought he was dead because of that. What? What's with the silence?
I think they caught
Because
you in Eli.
you just admitted that you knew this blood stain was a cape. In fact, you
Yeah.
were so certain it never even made you suspect that the victim may have been dead when you were approaching the body. That begs the question, though. How did you know?
Gosh! Isn't it obvious?
Gotcha.
I didn't know it at first. I figured it out when I got close to the body.
Yeah.
If that
you
was the
lied.
case, you would have mentioned it during your testimony. There's no way it just slipped your mind. Something as eye-catchingly red as this, lying directly under a body, would definitely make an impression.
Also, ponies
For
can't
you
see
to fail to
red.
mention it, there's only one
Well, our
possibility.
ponies can't.
When you first approached the body, this cape wasn't there.
Yeah.
Wait. So that means.
They're lying.
Nice to see you following along, Your Honor. If the cape wasn't present when these witnesses first approached the body, then that means it was placed there after they discovered it. And since Diamond knew right away that this was a cape, it should be obvious who must have placed it. Diamond, Tiara, and Silver Spoon? It was you two!
How do you know if it wasn't like Skulu trying to
Order!
save the
Order!
guy?
Miss Sykes, are you accusing these two fillies of tampering with the crime scene?
That would be
I
something
am,
to do.
Your Honor.
Wait a sec. This is ridiculous. Why would we do such a thing? It was a dead body covered in blood. Why would we even go near it?
I'm pretty sure I know exactly why. It's because of this, isn't it? You two wrote this blackmail letter and got Scootaloo and Turning Page to meet you at the crime scene. But instead of things going your
Well,
way, a
this
fight
worked.
broke out
That's
and
real
you had to
question.
leave without getting what you wanted. In retaliation, you framed Scootaloo for the murder. Objection!
Come now, Golden Pixie. Surely your memory isn't that bad. The clippings which make up the letter in question were found in Fair Devotion's home.
Yeah, they
These
planted
two
that back.
couldn't have been involved.
Objection! That might have been the case earlier,
Never get rid of those
Prosecutor
fucking
Luna,
advertisements.
but not anymore.
Is that so? Then please elucidate the court.
Do you remember what we learned earlier?
This
About
is
how
another thing
Turning
why
ruined these
goddamn
witnesses'
videos.
dresses and what
It's impossible
Spoiled
to
Rich
get rid
demanded?
of all those
Of course.
advertisements.
That very incident was the impetus for the blackmail.
Well, during the recess, Turning Page told us about something else that happened afterwards.
Something else?
It's true that Spoiled Rich wanted Fair Devotion to pay for the damages, but she also wanted Turning Page to personally apologize for what he did. Which is why she brought Diamond to Fair Devotion's house when she went to discuss the compensation.
I see. And why is that important, Miss Sykes?
Guess you could have planted
Your Honor, the prosecution claims that the fact that the magazine cuttings were found in Fair Devotion's house shows that she was the blackmailer. However, what Turning Page told us opens up another possibility, that the magazines were planted there for authorities to find. Planted by the one pony who had the perfect opportunity to do so. Diamond Tiara!
Defense? That is speculation at best. And it relies entirely on Turning Page and Fair
You have to
Devotion's
admit that
testimonies being the
that's something
truth.
she would do.
You must provide solid evidence. I will not tolerate yet another baseless accusation.
Don't worry, Prosecutor Luna. I don't intend on making the same mistake.
Is that so? Then, by all means, proceed.
During the recess, I learned about what happened during the negotiations. As I said before, a fight broke out between Turning Page and Scootaloo and Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. During the fight, Scootaloo left the scene on her scooter, taking the stolen capes and fabric roll with her in the wagon. Turning Page followed afterwards, but not before he tossed Diamond Tiara's tiara into the gorge to distract the fillies. What happened afterward is revealed by these witnesses' last testimony. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon went down the stairs to get the tiara back and saw Royal Order's body when they came back up. Wanting revenge, they framed Scootaloo for his death by planting the cape under his head.
I can't believe these two fellas did this dirty deed. What a pair of rats. But would they go this far? This can't be true!
Nicely done, Athena. You've created an
Still
opening
need
for
more
us.
evidence, just
Yeah.
saying.
But will it be enough? Of course it's not. How dare I think it was?
Yeah.
You've put up a good fight, but you're still lacking, Golden Pixie.
Lacking?
Your story is precisely that. A story. One of fiction.
How so?
The
How's it
scooter left
fiction?
behind at the scene. It contradicts your narrative. You claim that Scootaloo left the scene with that scooter, but she couldn't have. After all, the scooter was found at the crime scene itself.
It was
In
probably moved.
addition, your argument as to why these two witnesses would try to frame Scootaloo for murder makes no sense. Recall the wagon. When it was found, the roll of golden silk lay in its bed, the very item that Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon supposedly demanded. It was free for the taking. They would have gotten what they wanted. There was no reason to retaliate. And since they didn't take the roll, that suggests they were not responsible for the blackmailing in the first place.
That's no bueno.
Do you see now, Golden Pixie?
Is she Hispanic
Your
or
claims
something?
are rife with holes. If the two fillies at the stand really did as you claim, then what would they gain by placing the cape under the victim's head?
Probably to save
I
his, try to
highly
keep him from
recommend
bleeding
taking a
out.
good moment to rethink your theory. This will decide the entire outcome of this trial.
The entire outcome? Talk about pressure. Pushing down on me. But to rethink my entire theory? Oh, how am I supposed to do that? Well, maybe I shouldn't ask how I'm supposed to do that, but rather...
Ask the
Hey,
little ones.
Twilight.
Yes, Athena?
Got any ideas on how to get out of this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do.
Really?
Let's take this step by step. The argument that the cape was placed there to frame Scootaloo doesn't hold.
But how else could it have gotten there? They were the only ones who could have placed it.
Exactly. So what would their reason have been? They're definitely not responsible for Royal Order's death. They're both Earth ponies. They wouldn't be able to stab him in the head if he were standing upright.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been trying to cover up their own crime by framing some pony else. If framing is out of the picture, then maybe the cape had a more practical use.
Like I said, probably keep it from
Think
bleeding
back
out.
to what Diamond Tiara said about how she felt regarding the body.
That's right. She said she didn't even want to get near it because he was dead and covered in blood.
Exactly. But with the capes being there, one of those problems would cease to be an issue.
You mean, the cape could have been used to grab the victim's head without needing to touch it directly? But why would they need to do that in the first place?
I think they were looking for something. Something so important that they would even look under a dead body to find it. Well,
Oh, they
don't you know of something like that?
that golden thing.
Something important. Something they were desperate to find. Oh! I got it! Thanks a bunch, Twilight.
Thank
Or
yourself,
the crown?
Athena.
Here's
Or
hoping my
Tiara
hunch
thing.
is right.
I take it you found the answer to your little predicament, Golden Pixie?
We certainly have.
Care to share your thoughts, Miss Sykes?
Of course, Your Honor. I believe that Diamond and Silver really did plant this cape under the victim's head that night, but not for the nefarious reason we originally thought.
Oh?
Intriguing. Do go on, defense.
The defense believes that Diamond and Silver were looking for something after they found the body. They searched all over, but couldn't find it. Eventually, they must have decided to search under the victim himself. Not wanting to directly touch him, they used the cape to do it. As for what they were looking for, I've got a pretty good idea. Take that!
The blackmail letter?
Oh, the letter.
This blackmail letter was found at the crime scene. Scootaloo brought it with her when she went to the castle last night. During the recess, we learned from her that, after the fight, she left the letter behind by accident. After Diamond and Silver saw Royal Order's body, they likely realized that the
Is it
police would
just
get
gonna be
involved and
concerned
investigate.
that they were fighting?
If they found the letter, that could implicate them as potential suspects. So, to avoid that, they tried to locate the letter. Unfortunately, they couldn't find it nearby, and eventually resorted to looking under the body. However, while they were looking under his head, They saw Zecora approaching. They couldn't be caught next to the body, so they quickly hid from her, leaving the cape under the victim's head in their haste.
Now, supposing this is true, we can backtrack and support our pre-existing theory. The fact that Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon looked for the letter and feared its discovery shows that they must have known about the blackmail that night.
I get it. This is how we'll change the entire outcome of this trial.
Alright.
If they knew about the blackmail, then that must mean that they, not Fair Devotion or Royal Order, were the true blackmailers. And because of that, any motive for murder Turning Page and Scootaloo may have had is completely squashed.
Well, Golden Pixie, Miss Sparkle, congratulations on piecing all of this together.
Oh,
there you go.
Thanks, Prosecutor Luna.
Unless she's going to be negative. Yep.
There is still one more piece of this puzzle that needs to be placed.
One more piece?
Definitive proof that these fillies did place the cape under the victim's head. Without that, your theory remains nothing more than a theory. Is that something you can provide to the court?
I believe I can.
I wish the advertised people would just die.
Forensic flashlight?
This forensic flashlight can reveal any hidden bloodstains, even if they've been wiped away. Since the cape found under the head was bloody, chances are the ones who handled it would have gotten traces of blood on their hooves as a result.
I tried skipping through all this, trying to
Your
get
Honor,
past all that
I
advertisement.
request permission to use this forensic
really freaking hard
flashlight on
to.
Diamond and Silver's hooves. If we find blood on them, it would be proof that they were the ones
Wouldn't
who
they
placed
have
the
lost
cape
their
under the
hooves by
body.
now?
Wow! You really are a dumb human, aren't you?
Huh?
After we both got home, Silver Spoon and I took a nice, long bath to wipe away all the dirt and filth from that forest. There's no way your magical little flashlight is ever gonna pick up on anything.
Well, we won't know until we try, will we?
Precisely. There's no reason to not check at this stage. The prosecution has no reservations about this test, Your Honor.
What?
Very well. I shall permit its use. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
You ready to get your hooves? Yep, they still got the bloodstains.
Well, look at that! There is something on their hooves.
What? No way!
Exactly, Your Honor. And to prove it conclusively, I'd like to have these stains tested. If they match Royal Order's blood, that should be all the evidence we need to prove who placed the cape that night.
Of course. Bailiff, please proceed with the...
Wait!
What is it, witness?
We confess! Silver!
Wait, what did you just say?
Sylvie! Shut up! Don't say anything!
I'm sorry, DT.
Witness, what exactly are you confessing to?
Your Honor!
For moving the body?
We confess to blackmailing the Cutie Mark Crusaders!
Silver Spoon!
Your Honor!
Of course she isn't trying to
give me a
tackle
chance.
you.
I'll explain everything, I promise!
Silver!
You're doing the right thing, Miss Silver Spoon. Please, proceed to your confession.
Go on.
After we got attacked by that wannabe royal guard,
Diamond
Diamond
Tiara
Tiara came up with a
just
plan to get back at the CMC. We'd wait until they left their stuff alone, and then we'd take it and leave that note, asking for a roll of golden silk Sweetie Belle told us about.
Why did you ask for that?
Because, well, Diamond Tiara wanted to use it for another new dress.
Hey! Don't pin this on me! You wanted it too!
No, I didn't! I told you! I don't care about the fabric! I only agreed to go along with everything because I knew you wanted it!
Yeah, true.
Anyways, we
This is a
knew
gullible
that
friend always
blackmailing was
doing
a
whatever
big
she her
deal,
friend wants.
and we can get in a lot of trouble. So, to make sure we didn't get caught, Diamond Tiara figured we'd frame that annoying Colt's mother for the whole thing. Diamond Tiara knew that her mother was planning to take her to their house for that Colt's apology. So she took advantage of that, and planted the magazines in her house to make it look like it was the Colt's mother who was behind it all.
How...
That's still gotta be weird for your glasses that just constantly going up and
It's
down.
time for you to confess as well, DT.
Ugh, fine. I guess I don't really have any other choice thanks to you.
Well, you should have known this the whole damn time.
Everything was going according to plan. We brought the scooter and the wagon with us to the Everfree Forest at around 9:15.
How would
arriving
you
at the
know?
ruins
You don't
at
have a
9:50.
watch.
We waited for those blanks to show up. But
Unless they
instead,
did have one.
it was only one of them, and that cult who ruined our dresses. He had the nerve to attack us right there. He hit me hard enough to break that sword of his, and even broke Sylvie's glasses. Then, he threw my tiara down the gorge and ran off when we went to retrieve it. We spent forever looking for it. When we found it and went back up the stairs, that was when we saw the body. We weren't sure if he was really dead until we got close. After we realized it, we knew we had to get rid of anything that could show we were there. We collected the frame of Sylvie's glasses, but we couldn't find the blackmailer that the blank left behind. That was when I thought that the letter might be under the body. Sylvie and I grabbed one of the capes from the blank's wagon to lift the body up, so we wouldn't have to touch it.
I'm surprised you had the confidence to do that
Before
as
we
a
could
kid.
look at the letter, I saw that zebra coming our way. We had to run down the stairs again to hide until she left. She stuck around for a bit, but when she finally did, we figured it was time we left the forest as well. It wasn't worth looking for the letter anymore, since we didn't want to risk anybody else showing up and seeing us near the body. I figured if we couldn't find it, the wind must have blown it away into the woods, where it would never be found anyway.
The golden silk was left at the
Well,
scene,
unless we
though.
got this figured out.
Why didn't you grab it when you had the chance? Especially when you went through so much trouble to get it.
It slipped our minds, all right? We were already scared enough, not just by the fight, but also the dead body. We just wanted to go home at that point.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's everything that happened.
Not sure what to
The
say.
ponies who blackmailed the Cutie Mark Crusaders were us. No pony else.
Oh, we just got that figured out.
So then, where does this leave us?
Well, Your Honor, with this confession, we've learned something very crucial. Royal Order and Fair Devotion weren't the ones behind the blackmailing. And as a result, Turning Page and Scootaloo have no motive to murder Royal Order. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Luna?
It would seem to be the case, Golden Pixie. Unfortunately, the possibility of these two involved in Royal Order's murder is still on the table.
What?
True.
Oh, but I literally just proved that they had no motive.
That alone is not enough to exonerate them. They still had the opportunity to murder the victim.
When?
While our blackmailing little fillies went down into the gorge.
Prosecutor Luna, could you kindly explain to the court what you mean?
Certainly, Your Honor.
But what would their
Diamond
motive
Tiara, Silver Spoon, could you tell me exactly how long you were searching for that crown?
I don't know. Maybe like 20 minutes? Give or take.
That'll do. Thank you. Your Honor, during the short time Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon were away, Royal Order was killed. It's entirely possible that Scootaloo and Turning Page killed him within that window.
Why are you so obsessed with blaming them?
But Scootaloo and Turning left the scene right after the blackmailing. Diamond Tiara just confirmed that, right?
Yeah, the blank left on her scooter, and the cold left soon afterwards.
That's what I saw too.
See? Both of them have confirmed that the defendants left the scene before the murder occurred, meaning that they couldn't have committed the crime. Objection!
How amusing. It seems in your haste, you failed to realize exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Huh?
Don't you recall, Golden Pixie? At the beginning of today's trial, when the subject of bloodstains was first discussed, you claimed that the blood flowing from the victim's head should have formed a pool beneath him. But clearly that did not happen. Originally, it was assumed that this was because of the cape. It had absorbed all the blood, eliminating the presence of a blood pool.
But the whole
However,
cape should be
we've
pure
now
blood red.
established that the cape was placed there after the murder.
Yeah.
Therefore, it couldn't have absorbed the blood. So, where did all that blood go? It should have coated the entire area around the victim's head. But forensic testing revealed that the amount present was not enough to have come from the head wound.
Pause right here. I'll finish the rest probably tomorrow. So yeah, that was my reaction, episode 4. I'm gonna try my best to get rid of those goddamn advertisements when I do the next reaction, but no promises. Because holy crap, they just come out of it. So, anyway, you guys, the reaction. It's still a pretty interesting trial. And yeah, Halloween that's coming up.